Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the SVT podcast. Today we have S and V. How you doing today, Vince?
Wait, is your name Sam?
It is
You say,
today.
yeah, okay.
It is today. I'm going with
Sam.
Sam. I'm growing my beard out to look like Sam. I do have hair, so I
Yeah,
can't do
you
that
gotta buzz
portion of
that
it.
back. I've got that covered. I've got the losing the hair thing
See,
covered.
our
So
powers combined.
that's right. We make one Sam.
Yes.
He's out today. If you can't tell, but
So like I'm
yeah,
beard, your head,
I'm
hair,
bald. Yeah,
and then ones and twos is heart.
there you go.
Heart.
Yeah,
Here I am.
Yeah.
The one power that really wasn't needed for Captain Power or Captain
Planet.
Captain Planet.
Thank you.
Captain
Yeah.
Planet. He's the hero, man. Let's
Yeah.
get pollution down to zero.
Yeah.
Get it right.
All right, guys, we've got a lot on the plate today: NFL, MLB, NBA, and a little bit of football for you guys across the pond there for you. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it. The episode title here is our holdouts versus showouts, and we had some showouts in this preseason game. So, Vince, what do you think about what you saw from your 49ers?
Well, I'm glad the quarterbacks played a lot better. All three of them played really well, and that's nice. Brock Purdy got out there. He got out there for one drive, and he took him right down the field. The running back, Tyrion Davis-Price, he missed a block, and that basically took them out of touchdown range, but they still kicked the field goal. And Jake Mooney needed to get those field goal reps in there because
Mooney
was a little
looking
shaky
booty
after, and I mean he did make that field goal, but if he was another 15 yards back, he probably shanks that one too. It was not angling great. So, but at least he got to see one go through the uprights, and sometimes, I mean, we talk about it with basketball. Sometimes you just got to see one go in, and then it starts working out, and hopefully that's what happened here. Is he started seeing it go in. And he's going to be no problems going forward, because if you wasted your third round pick on a kicker and that guy doesn't even make your team, god damn, like
yep.
The Niners make some really good draft picks, but then like they've also made some terrible ones. I mean, we talk about the Trey Lance pick, and just that deal entirely now looks worse and worse every day. But if you burned a third on a kicker and he doesn't even make your squad, that's really, really bad. So they really need Jake Moody to straighten out. So I
think Moody will figure it out, man. I really do. I think he's not used to, which is weird to say. Okay, look, you and I, being from the Bay Area, we know wind swirls. All right. Candlestick was a literal vacuum of a wind swirl, right? So
we've literally seen a pitcher at Candlestick in his windup
turn around,
get blown down by the wind. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they say that there's like a wind adjustment you have to do in Santa Clara, sure, I guess that's true, right? But it will be nothing like Candlestick ever. Nothing will ever compare to that.
Not so, like that, yeah.
He's just got to pay attention to the flags, on top of the posts, and just
the poles are narrower in the NFL as they were in college, so that's another adjustment he's got to make.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he'll be okay. I know you lost a great kicker, but I think Moody will not be Moody forever. So
he'll figure it out, and if he doesn't figure it out, they'll cut him quick enough, because sometimes kickers, they just get the yips, man. And if he's got the yips already, he's got to go away and figure it out. But if he's got it, like, I expect he'll make the team. And then, but how short is the leash, I guess, is my question. Here I am worrying about a kicker in a sport that barely uses a kicker at all. But
yeah,
it's important. It's so important.
Well, the couple things I watched the game, and a couple things I noticed that Trey Lance looked night and day totally better.
Yeah.
I mean, totally better. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
Not second guessing, reading his progressions. I mean, you guys found your third wide receiver in Bell. I mean, hands down.
Bell, yeah. I mean, he was already going to make the team, I think, just because of like, they wouldn't want him to go to like be up to try to clear waivers, because he wouldn't have cleared waivers. Somebody else would have picked him up. So I think he was going to be the last man in on the running backs. I mean, excuse me, the wide receiver room anyway. But he really just grabbed a hold of that spot, and he's looked phenomenal in the preseason so far.
Absolutely.
So
I mean,
I'm really excited for him.
he's got, foam marshmallow legs because everyone just bounces right off of him. It's insane. He looked great in his last preseason game. How do you feel about Brandon Ayuk totally ruining the 2-point chance there in the game there?
You know what?
It's preseason, so who cares? But
not important. Not important. We're focusing on the good. Bell, call him the corn kid because he's got the juice, man. Like, this is great.
For real. Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to note though is that I was talking with some other friends of mine that are 49ers fans, and your team looks great on paper. First, everybody that is starting, great. Your depth is what scares me. Are you nervous about your depth at all? Because injuries in the Shanahan is likely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried in other places, in some places than others. Excuse me. Yeah, real professional there. Drinking water, almost choking on it. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so like on the defensive line, there's tons of depth there. Hell, even linebacker, I think there's a little bit more depth than I thought there was. Going in.
Yeah.
But I mean, like defensive backs, if you lose anybody, that puts like Ambry Thomas into the like one of the top two, and that could be a problem. Yeah, and like offensive line again, when we're down to like the scrubs, and that's how it is with every team though. If you have to replace 3 or 4 guys on your offensive line with backups, that's going to be a problem, and that's why I'm glad Trent Williams is not taking any reps. He doesn't need it. He's fucking all-world tackle. He doesn't need to be out there for preseason. That's great. I don't need that. Honestly, this Nick Bosa holdout is kind of working out good as well.
Yeah,
because every single one of these fines is rescindable. So he's not actually going to lose any money when he does report, and he's not taking any abuse on in preseason. So, I mean, the guys that aren't playing, they're not playing for a reason. We don't want to risk them over games that really do not matter. And Debo looked good in that first drive. He looked good. Get him the hell out.
Hargrave looked good too.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said it in the text to you guys, like Hargrave and Nick Bosa on the same defensive line. Oh, mama! Like, that is going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Who else you got in line? I mean, there's someone else. I'm drawing a blank. There's one more name. Oh, he was always hurt. He was hurt last year. He's on the line with them, and I'm drawing an absolute Kinlaw.
Oh yeah, Javon Kinlaw. Yeah,
having him and then those two other guys. Yeah, you guys are going to be a problem on the line. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm excited
too. Yeah,
Armstead too. That was Armstead got a lot of reps too. So
yeah.
So no, I'm excited for this. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan first,
right?
But if my team were to get knocked out,
this matchup's gonna be fun, man. Because we're gonna see each other twice. We're gonna see each other twice. Yeah, we got the December game, and then at some point in the playoffs. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Presumably the NFC title game again. Like that's where both of our teams are. Like, we got that circled. Like, that's the plan. I mean, I would think,
I would imagine this would be, if we get there, and we don't want to always count our eggs before they hatch, but I would imagine that if we were to get there, this game is going to be a bloodbath more than it was last year. And I imagine it's going to be somewhere in the likes of like when the 49ers and the Seahawks met, and the infamous game of what the hell's his name? Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, Navarro Bowman. He He ended up with the ball, and he got
the ball and his leg at the same time.
And his leg, got ripped out basically. This is shaping up to be one of those fun little mini rivalries that we got developing, and familiarity breeds contempt. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see if both teams stay good. They're going to keep seeing each other, and that makes it for a lot of fun.
I was looking at the schedule. There's a good chance you guys beat us. And the reason being is that I think we go to LA, right, to go play the Rams. I want to believe it's the Rams.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. I think it's the Rams. And then we fly all the way back to the East Coast to go play the Jets. And you're like, oh, the Jets, but it's a new look Jets, and they're probably gonna be a tough team because they look pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we come back home to play you guys. So there's a good chance you guys beat us. I just think travel and wear and tear, that's gonna be a tough game no matter what.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we like lose the Rams game and then win the Jets game and then try to be more prepared, or if we win the Rams game and then lose the Jets game.
Yeah,
to
you
be more
overlook
prepared.
one of those games heading into the Niners game.
For sure.
A little bit. Yeah, I could see that. That's certainly a possibility. Yeah. Our boy Daniel is really hyped. He's Aiden, I look like Derek Carr O'Connell.
And he did though.
Yeah.
He looked very good.
Yeah.
I said that the Raiders have their quarterback in the next like year or two.
Yeah, so I mean, as soon as Jimmy goes down with the injury that's coming, Aiden he looks he looks like he could be ready for a little bit more, and we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, they might be out of it already at that point. Who knows? I mean, I'd like to see him play well, but I don't know if they're going to be in it or not. Sam would be more of the expert on that.
I would say on paper, and what we've seen from the two preseason games, their defense has definitely improved.
Yeah.
And I like to make comparisons to St. Louis. I mean, not to St. Louis, to New Orleans for obvious reasons, right? Because that's where Derek Carr is.
Yeah.
And I would argue that the Saints defense is better, only because they're proven, right? Where this Raiders defense is not proven yet.
Yeah.
But I would also say that talent-wise, I think, if Jacobs, who said he was going to come off of his holdout to join the team now, he announced that today, actually. I would imagine that offensively, weapons are great. You got a decent quarterback who can stay healthy.
Yep.
I would say you are right, Daniel, that you have a Derek Carr situation 2.0 in Las Vegas again. But the tale will be out there that if they're going to be better than what Derek Carr is now in I keep wanting to say St. Louis in New Orleans here. So
yeah,
I'm going to keep an eye on both. I like to see that. I like that probably that year of disparity to see like how's my guy doing. Like Hargrave, I'm going to see what Hargrave's been doing this whole year. He's not on my team anymore, but I want to know.
Yeah.
Good or bad, I just want to know.
Yeah, you tend to follow people that used to be on your team. We know that as A's fans.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I think I could name almost every single baseball team that probably has a player from the A's.
Oh, I'm certain of it. Like if you at least go down to the farm level as well.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, like Jorge Mateo in Baltimore all of a sudden.
No, he's been balling out. This year he figured out his swing. I watched I know we're not on baseball yet, but I watched MLB's thing about how they break down certain players' swings, and Jorge Mateo was one of them. There's a reason why Jorge Mateo was having one of his career years, but I digress.
Yeah,
Speaking of career years and not having to be with the same team anymore, Jonathan Taylor has been requested a permission to seek a trade, and they have granted him that permission. So
it's ending terribly.
Very much so.
That owner, I'm blanking on his name, but he's just a real piece of work, man. That guy's an idiot. Jim Irsay. Yeah.
Jim Irsay, for sure.
Yeah.
And I've put some teams out that I think would be in contention and dark horses.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to hear what you think.
Okay.
So contention. Okay. Cowboys, Vikings, Lions, Bears, and Arizona.
Okay, so I would say Minnesota is on my short list.
Sure. They don't have Cook anymore.
And yeah, exactly. And then the other two that I have, Miami and Kansas City. If he ends up in Kansas City after they passed on him to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean that could be real interesting.
I was gonna do Kansas City, but they don't have any high draft picks. And that rookie running back that they have now seems to be kind of showing up in practice. So I ruled him out. But I'm not done, though. I have a dark horse here.
Okay.
The dark horses are Washington, Green Bay, Ravens, and the Jags. Those are my dark horses.
Green Bay, I could see. I don't. Baltimore, I could see as well. Jaguars, I don't think. They invested into Tank Bigsby, I think, and
I agree with that.
what's
I
his name?
agree
So
with that.
so Jacksonville, I don't really see that one, but
I could
the other
see
ones.
the one I see the most, which is alarming to me. Well, not let's say alarming, but more or less interesting to me. I can see Arizona, and the reason being is that I don't trust James Conner can stay healthy.
Yeah, but I mean, when he is healthy, he's the dude. And
Sure.
last year he was more healthy than not, and he was the dude. The year before, when he was like when Arizona was actually kind of good and actually made the playoffs, he was healthy all year. And I mean, it's like what 18 touchdowns. Like there's nobody else there. And I mean,
I agree.
if Arizona wants to like spend the money and just to spend the money and bring Taylor in for a couple of years, I think they have the flexibility to do that. I don't know if they're not really competitive right now. They're expected to be fighting for the top overall pick in the draft next year.
Sure, of course.
So I mean, if you get something to help Kyler Murray right now, help him this year, maybe that ends up a little bit better for them. But also, if it's just a band-aid on a bullet hole, if that's what this ends up being, then you basically got a guy that's going to help you win a couple extra games, and those couple extra wins are going to take you out of the number 1 overall pick. So I don't know. I don't know where they see their team at, but me, if I'm Arizona, I don't think I make the move just because you're set up to be really, really bad, and getting a really good player in here is only going to hurt you from getting that number 1 overall spot. So.
Yeah, I think Arizona probably looks at the fact that they lost one of their top wide receivers. So
well, they lost him on purpose. They kind of
they
drove him out. They drove him out to the meadow, got him out of the car, spun him around a few times, and then took off for the car and drove away and left him there, all confused and wondering and whimpering.
Well, let's say the Jags get him.
Okay.
Deep playoff run, Super Bowl contention. What do you think? That's an option. Deep playoff run or Super Bowl contention.
What is deep? Is it divisional round?
Championship.
Or is AFC championship? I don't know. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no outright.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts them into a 4-pack, I think, with the Bengals, the Bills, and the Chiefs. That would put the Jaguars in the discussion. Sure. And if those are your final 4 teams, I mean, I'm not going to say outright that the Jaguars can't beat any of those teams. Also, you got to look at the Chargers getting Dallas's offensive coordinator, really opening them up a little bit. I mean, I don't know, man. It's going to be a lot of fun in the AFC. The AFC has a lot more really quality teams.
Yeah.
Whereas with the NFC, I think it's just your guys and my guys, and we're heading for a collision. I will believe in Dallas when Dallas actually gives me something to believe in. Until then, they're frauds, and they got a worse offensive coordinator than they had last year, and they have Dak Prescott, who will be. He'll throw. I think he'll do 20 and 20. He's not going to quite go Jameis Winston 30 and 30.
Just think of Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm not going to rule the Vikings because the Vikings tend to always make it, but they always fizzle out because Kirk Cousins is not a playoff dude. I've been saying this forever, and I will die on this hill.
Yep, until he proves otherwise.
Yep, exactly. I think the Rams are old and have overpaid, and their budget won't allow them to compete like they used to.
Yeah, they have Aaron Donald on defense, and then 11 guys who are like janitors or something. I don't know.
For sure, yeah. I think the Giants make another splash. I'm not going to rule them out yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna rule them out because I don't trust Daniel Jones. But you know what? We can hold on like deeper NFL discussions, I think, till next week.
Yeah, I think next week we're gonna make our predictions. Also too, I'm also trying to pick your brain because we have our fantasy draft pick this weekend.
Right. Yeah, that's coming this weekend. Yeah. So you're trying to
just want to hear whatever names you say
free,
so I can put it in my brain.
Free information there. I did give you a couple things there, but not too much. I think yeah, you're trying to steal the trophy from the champ, and you know, I get it. You're trying to do anything and everything to win. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? You know, I get it. I respect it. But it's, yeah, there you go.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Okay.
All right. Well, I can't wait because my team doesn't play again until Thursday. Does the 49ers have one more game? What's that?
I think it's Thursday. One? Yeah. There's one more game for everybody.
So that's my last game. I think we'll see Hurts for a couple series, and that's about it. Our starting line is probably going to show up maybe for a series or two. That's about it. So yeah, it should be more fun. I'm excited. Also, we won't have football until September.
After Labor Day. Yeah.
13th or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, September 15th, something like that. It's after you know what? The NFL did me a favor. I'm getting married next week. Then I have my honeymoon, and then they show their first football game. So they did me a favor.
It'd be like the 7th is the Thursday night game. So then we're looking at like the 10th is when most of the other games are going to pop off. Is the 10th. So
thank you, NFL.
Yeah. They gave you a few days at least.
Just a few. Just a bit. All right. Well, I don't have anything else for NFL. Is there anything else you want to talk about your 49ers?
No, I think we're good there. All right. Let's move on.
All right, boys. Well, we're moving on to unfortunately the MLB and we have Hillary coming in. So Hillary is bringing rain, and it's storming down in LA. We're getting a couple rains up here in the Bay Area, and you know when it rains, it pours. And the Oakland A's have seen nothing but hail all season long. They suck.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me know with the scores.
All right, so over the last week, the A's went 1 win and 5 losses. They go 1-2 at St. Louis, and then they go 0-3 coming back home to play Baltimore, including a loss 12-1 on Sunday, which included an inside the park home run. God, the A's suck. It's not fun.
By a traded former top farm system player, Jorge Mateo, in the A system.
Yeah. God, just really just pouring salt on the wound.
Absolutely.
This upcoming week, they got 3 versus Kansas City. That game will get going in about an hour or so from when we're talking right now. And then they go to Chicago, play 4 against the White Sox in the Windy City.
What's a bigger dumpster fire series? Kansas City or against the White Sox?
I think Kansas City, because Kansas City is like literally the team that's ahead of the A's in the standings. The A's are currently 34 wins, 90 losses. That 100 loss season is right there. It is within reach.
We're close.
Yeah, we're talking 2 weeks away, maybe, man. Like it is right there. They are 5 games back of Kansas City. So if they go, like playing at home against Kansas City this week, if they sweep Kansas City, they're still 2 games behind them. And if anything else happens, it's going to get a lot worse for the A's. They're dead last in the American League, but they're in line for the number 1 pick in the draft, which they'll probably blow. We'll see. Or they'll they'll make that pick and then they'll end up trading him later.
No, worse. Yeah. They'll pick a quarterback who goes to play the NFL.
Exactly. Yeah. They've already done that once. Like I think that they'll probably do it for a wide receiver instead. Yeah. Maybe a point guard. Could be a point guard. Yeah, go NBA instead. Yeah. Switch it up a little bit. I don't think they'll get a hockey player that plays baseball.
How about a forward who plays soccer?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, he just opts to go and, play soccer instead. Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah. So there's the A's update. We'll go across the bay to the Giants. They go 1-2 against Tampa Bay, and they go 1-2 at Atlanta. And this week, I forgot to write down the teams they're playing. But they're
I will tell you right now.
Yeah, they're in the midst of a tough stretch right now. They are 65 wins, 59 losses, second in the NL West, second in the NL wild card as well. They have a half game lead on the Cubs. Who are they playing?
They are playing currently they're playing the Phillies, and the Phillies are taking it to them in the 7th inning, 6-2. If you're watching this, it's now Tuesday, so that game would be fine tomorrow. 2 more games against the Philly, and then after that they meet the Braves. So good luck. They already lost to the Braves. Now they're going. Now they're not going to be in Atlanta. The Braves are coming to San Francisco. So
okay, so it's almost that home and home that we see teams do.
Yep,
it's got that one series in between, but it's basically close to a home and home. You see them within a week of each other. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, they got to turn their ship around real quick because what are they at? They're at 65. Philly, I think, owns the second wild card.
No,
spot.
the first wild card spot.
First wild card spot. Okay.
The Giants are currently in the second wild card spot. The Cubs are only half a game back, and Arizona is only
3
one
teams
game
though,
back
right?
of them. Yeah,
it's 3 teams in the wild
3
card.
3 teams
now.
in the wild card. So right now they're clear by a game and a half on Arizona. If Arizona, gets those 2 wins or whatever that they're down in games played or whatever, I think they played 2 less games. If they win those 2 games, Arizona is suddenly ahead of the Giants. So that's danger.
Yeah. So currently Arizona is a game and a half behind the Giants.
Yeah, exactly.
in the NL West.
Yeah.
So
but in the wild card, Arizona is only 1 game out of that third wild card spot because the Cubs are in between the Giants and the Diamondbacks. So
but they could leapfrog all of it by just beating the Giants outright, correct?
They could.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there.
I like the 3 wild card system. I think that just a little bit more added fun, a little bit more added drama,
and a little bit more playoff revenue too, because they gotta broadcast those games, man.
They ain't gonna broadcast them on Sinclair.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about how we fought for the champion, we're fighting for the championship in our fantasy league, right?
Yes.
But we definitely were not fighting for the last place. If you get last place, you might have to be, if you're Dave Fleming, the Giants broadcaster, you're gonna be bat boy for a day. And they just really gave it to him. They made him work for it. That was a lot of fun to watch. Just
yeah.
I even put the laugh cry emoji in there because it was just pretty amusing. I had a good time watching that.
So what? I mean, now you got me thinking. What should we do? Just like a quick 3-minute thought process. What do you think we should do for our last place? I still think a rhinestone last place license plate cover.
I think that's fair. I think you have to drive around something visible. Just announce.
And you guys take a picture with you on it, with you next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we let our last place person get away with nothing this year, but I definitely think we could come up with a fun little punishment that isn't going to be too detrimental to their life. I mean, I'm not trying to ruin lives here or anything. Shout profanities in places that shouldn't be shouted or anything like that. But maybe they go to a Waffle House, do the Waffle House challenge, 24 hours in a Waffle House or something, or Denny's or what have you.
We could
lower the hours by how many waffles you eat.
We could do. I know this year is a little tough with the whole meeting up, but next year, if we do a meeting up in person, last place has to, I don't know, bring something like KFC, like bring a catered meal, bring a main dish meal for everyone.
They bring the food and their sticker bitch. Yeah. I think that could be it.
That could be a good one too.
Yeah, we can bring it up in the group chat separately. I know how enthralling it is to hear people talk about their fantasy teams, right?
Well, no, I want to know if you guys are in fantasy or play as, what do you think should be a last place punishment? I want to know.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Drop your last place, whatever punishments you make your Sacco do.
Yeah. We'll continue the podcast, but as long as you can bring them up, I'll circle back to it. You just let me know, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do love that. I did see that. He was not that efficient as a bat boy, but he tried his darndest. So, I appreciate the effort.
Nice hustle out there, bud. Give him a pat on the ass on the way out, man.
Oh man. Do we call him a like a gamer old man? Because he calls them
gamer
babes,
bro, gamer dude. He's a gamer dude.
Good times. We'll have to think of one for our own link here. But anyways, speaking of tourneys and playing amongst friends here, the NBA schedule has been released. Opening season Tuesday on October 24th against Phoenix. We're hosting them, yeah?
Yes, hosting Phoenix,
Okay.
7 p.m. tip. The other game that night is the Lakers at Denver for the championship banner at 4:30.
Yep.
And both of those games are going to be on TNT. So they announced the national schedule as well. Excuse me. The Warriors play 29 games on nationally televised networks, 12 on TNT, 13 on ESPN, and then 4 on ABC. So, and they actually lead the pack. The top 5 teams featured on national televised games. You have the Warriors at 29, the Lakers at 28 games, the Celtics 26 games, the Suns 25 games, and the Nuggets, your champions, 22 games. That's good. I'm good with that. The Suns are, a perennial contender at this point, but haven't gotten the job done. There's a lot of intriguing pieces there, though. The Nuggets are your champions. Celtics, Lakers, those are your historic, blue blood franchises. And the Warriors are the hottest fucking ticket still. You got to get them on. That's where the money comes in. So it makes sense to have. I think these 5 teams having the most games on primetime makes sense. I believe the Knicks, the New York Knicks, they were 6th with 20 games. So a quarter of their schedule basically on national TV. So it makes sense, I think.
I don't know when the first ESPN game, if it is that Sacramento game.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be tuned to it because that should be the first Bob Myers game.
Ooh, yeah, could be fun. Warriors going to Sacramento on they open on Tuesday the 24th. Friday they go up to Sacramento in a rematch of that first round series from this past year. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that, and hopefully we shut that beam down for a night. It'll be nice.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a fun game and a little family rivalry because my brother is a Kings fan. So he lives up there, so it makes sense.
I've got some players circled this year that I think should be a watch, good or bad. Do you have any players you think fans should, or at least our viewers should look out for if they can watch these games?
Well, I mean, I think Sacramento, like at least early on,
not games, but player wise.
But player wise, well, I was gonna say to see how now that Sacramento is like actually being recognized a little bit, like they're getting a little bit of pub. It's going to be interesting to see how Fox and Domantas Sabonis, like how they react to the higher level of scrutiny, and especially early on in the season. And when I rattled off the nationally televised game count earlier, that's all kind of subject to change as well.
Sure.
The second half of the year, if there's a team that's good that they didn't expect to be good, they're going to flex them in and get them on national, so those numbers are flexible a little bit, but generally speaking, I don't see, at least these top 5 teams, I don't see much change there. You might see a couple extra games get televised nationally.
I just read that your niece loves when they light up the beam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she absolutely loves the beam. She's 3 years old and she's adorable. And I hope she cries that night. She's got to learn. She's got to learn. She's got to learn. Uncle Vinny loves you, but on that night you're gonna learn heartache, and that's okay. That's okay. It's part of life. I'm looking at the corner wall. Lesson. Yeah.
I get a corner wall that is mine. Okay, in this whole place, I get one corner that is mine. I can decorate it however I want. I have all the teams that I have learned pain and suffering from throughout all the years. From the Warriors to the Sharks to the A's and to the Eagles. Yep. I know pain and suffering like none other. So she's gonna learn young. She's gonna learn real young,
and that's okay. Yeah, and that's great. This is character building.
Yeah.
It's important lessons to learn, and sometimes you got to learn to lose before you learn how to win, right? And I mean, we saw the Warriors do that. Maybe Sacramento's kind of going through that right now. They spent a lot of time just losing, but now they have a year of being good and then, losing in the playoffs. That heartbreak certainly can rally a team. We saw that happen with the Warriors. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see going forward. It's going to be, I'm just really excited for basketball to start, man.
I really am, man. I really am. I've been watching Kuminga and Klay Thompson's highlight tapes this summer. Oh man. I mean, the hopium is at an all-time high.
That's right. I mean, we got easy access to hopium right now as Ace fans. So,
Yeah. I've
we
just
just
let that tank
every little
open.
bit, we can just convert it over to other sports too while we're at it.
For
It's
sure.
fine. It's totally fine. No problems.
There's no such thing as unlimited laughing gas. I have that tank all the way full.
That's right, baby. Turn it up. Crank that bad boy to 11.
No, I do think that Kuminga would be something that if you're not watching, you should watch. I think he's going to do something crazy this year.
This is the leap. This is his time.
I would say I love Jordan Poole. I think what he brought offensively is something that the Warriors may miss, especially with the three-point shot, right? Coming off the bench. But decision-making wise, turnover wise, you're not going to miss that. Defensively, you're not going to miss that. So I think, and this is my tin hat hot take, I think Kuminga is probably going to average 17 to 20 points all season long on average, right?
Oh, wow.
Because he doesn't have Jordan Poole anymore. So he's going to be that dude, and Chris Paul is going to unlock that dude for sure.
Yeah,
and
I mean, if
DeMontis
that happens,
Sabonis stretching the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, my gut is telling me, I mean, you said you brought up Kuminga, and I was like, I could see him doing 15 without, much, like 15 and 7. Sure. 7 boards, 15 rebounds, 15 points, 7 boards a game. I could see that in the cards for sure. And I mean, to get it hot takey enough, I can see how you would get to 17 to 20 or whatever. So
yeah, I think Lob City is going to come to the second unit real quick.
Okay, I would love to see it.
Hey,
we've already gone into the Chris Paul stuff earlier when the trade went down. Now it's just a matter of actually seeing it in practice, seeing it in actual games and how it works and how they mesh and everything. So now's the time. Preseason is right around a month-ish away. Like that's when the training camp or whatever starts. So yeah, it's time. It's time. It's right there.
We're close. We're real close. We're real close to, I think, the sports too, as us as A's fans, that we're really excited about.
Yeah. I mean, we're really excited to see something good. Is what it really comes down to.
Something promising.
Yeah. I know the Sharks aren't going to really be delivering good, but at least they'll be interesting,
For sure.
So, but then that leaves me with the Niners, you with the Eagles, and it leaves us with the Warriors. And that's what we're really hyped for is football and basketball right now. Absolutely.
Yeah. And not to say that I'm not hyped. I mean, by all means, I don't expect you to ever be hyped for the Eagles, but I am hyped for the 49ers. Like, I think you guys are going to do big things this year.
No, I mean, we're being
until you see us, I don't want you to do anything.
Right. No, we're being very complimentary of each other's teams though right now. Sam's not here to stop the love fest right now. Because it's all flowers right now. We're giving each other's teams their flowers, and like I said, I mean, I expect the Eagles to be in the NFC Championship with the Niners. Yeah. And whatever happens there is what happens, and that's fine,
Seattle and 49ers, that's what I see, a 2.0.
Yeah.
And a Richard Sherman coming out saying, this was the Super Bowl. Not the Super Bowl coming up. This was the Super Bowl. That was the highest praise of a man that I thought was absolutely crazy until he went onto your team. I think it was a high praise. He was right. Yeah. That was the Super Bowl. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was a hell of a game.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of a hell of a game, I'm good with NBA. Did you have something else for NBA?
No, I'm good. I'm all set, man.
A hell of a game. We are going across the pond to A's football club here, Wrexham. They are currently 15th, which is great. We're middle of the pack into a new club, new league. So everything is new to us over there. We still don't have Paul Mullen, so I'm okay with it. We're currently 1-1-2. So 1 win, 1 loss, and I think I had
2 draws.
2 draws.
It should be 2-1.
It should be 1-2-1, right?
Yeah. That's how it should be labeled. But yeah.
So they won their first game, thank God. They then go to play Swindon Town this past Tuesday here. I'm sorry, past Saturday here. There's no reason why they should have won this game. Absolutely no reason. It was 5-3 in the second half, and then it became 5-4 with like 78 minutes.
Wait, who was up? Who was up?
Oh, Swindon Town was up.
Oh, okay.
And then in the 96th minute, seconds away from a whistle, there is a penalty and a free kick, and they score a goal and tie the game 5-5.
Yeah, my dad is saying that Ben Foster is going to retire again. Is retiring again as well.
I believe that. I'll be honest with you. Maybe our defense in Wrexham isn't as where it should be, and I fully believe that it needs to be improved. But Ben Foster,
is he washed?
I think he's realizing that the National League is not the same as the EFL.
Right. Yeah.
So I would agree with that. I don't think he's going to retire yet. He's probably going to retire maybe midway to the end of the season, depending on where the Wrexham stands. If Wrexham doesn't get out of middle of the place, I could totally see Ben Foster retiring like mid-season, and they move to another goalie, right? What difference will it make at that point? So
right.
But it was Swindon Town was a great game. I can't wait for the next match. I'd love to see this say 2-2-1. That would be great. Just to give some preference here, because like I said earlier, I like watching where other people go that were near me at the time. Notts County, I think, is in 7th. They've won 2 games so far. So
all right, yeah. So
they're doing well.
It's early in the season. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing well. But you gotta watch it. You gotta keep an eye out on your enemy, right? Yeah. So I'll tell you right now. Now Notts County is Notts County is 9th. I'm sorry, I was close. They were 9th.
Okay. Yeah.
So 2-1-1 for them. So, anyways, that is your Wrexham update. Before we get into the Women's World Cup, I just want to say one thing. The King of England is an absolute piece of SOS. He's a piece of shit. Shit-sucking shit. That's what he is. Mm-hmm. He came out and said, I don't want to watch Women's World Cup. I don't want to watch them because I'm vacationing. I'm doing my own thing. Fuck you.
Yeah, the whole royal family really fucked up. Your team is in the fucking championship and you can't send anybody.
Not a single person.
I mean, what the fuck is Archie doing right now? He's not doing anything. He's
nothing.
Yeah, send the him. Fucking kids. I mean, God,
send him with a lollipop.
You can't send Kate and the kids to the game. I mean, God damn. King fucking sucks, George ain't doing shit, man. Come on. Seriously.
So not to say that the royal family had any hands into it, but it looks like in the final here, Spain won 1-0. So the cup is not going back home.
It's not coming home. It never was coming home. I just predicted when that would stop being a thing. It's kind of a fun little joke, running joke now. Is it coming home yet, England? Is it coming home? So we get to keep that going for another 3 years until the men's World Cup in 2026 in 3 years. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So this is Spain's first Women's World Cup title. There's been 9 events so far, 9 of them so far. So Spain gets their first. Let's rip the Band-Aid off right now. Coach Jorge Vilda is a dick. Okay, that guy sucks. For sure. He was fostering like a really abusive clubhouse culture in Spain, and I think like 15 players like said that they would not play for him, and I think 3 of them ended up keeping their word, and they like 3 top-notch players ended up not playing for Spain, and Spain still won. So that tells you Spain's in good shape going forward. At the very least, they played an incredible game. I woke up to watch it. It was early. It was 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Okay.
3 a.m. Yeah, if we were East Coast based, 6 a.m. I could do that a lot easier. But
my girl wanted to watch it. She goes, "Oh, we should watch the Women's World Cup." And I go, "Oh, you're gonna be up for that?" And she goes, "What time is it?" And I think I told her 3 a.m. She goes, "Oh, I'll just take the Google highlight."
Yeah, no, it was so basically the Spain Soccer Federation ended up keeping Vilda in place, and so now he's like, holding up a trophy, and it ended like they ended up winning the obviously, but it's still not a good feeling, and that guy as a human being, he sucks.
There's a picture of after they won and all the players are celebrating together, and the coaching staff is like, halfway down the other side of the field celebrating together.
Yeah.
No unity.
The players do not like him at all.
Yeah.
Even the ones that came back, they still didn't like him all of a sudden, you know? So it was definitely a really weird situation. Like if they ended up losing at some point, I would have called it untenable, but they were able to win a fucking World Cup together, even though they hated each other. So we'll see how it goes, how it plays going forward. We got the Olympics next year. We'll see, you know, how the women do there. So as far as the goal scorer, the only goal was scored by Olga Carmona. She actually her father passed away before just before the match, and she didn't know about it. Like she found out afterwards. And she actually like put a statement out on Twitter. I'm not calling it the other thing. And she said, and without knowing it, I had my star before the game started. If you win
right
the
in
World
the
Cup,
feels, man. Right in the
feels. Yeah. If you win the World Cup, you get a star on your jerseys. So that's why the U.S. women have 4 of them, because they won 4 World Cups. So let's read this. And without knowing it, I had a star before the game started. I know you have given me the strength to achieve something unique. I know you've been watching me tonight and you're proud of me. Rest in peace, Dad. And it's yeah, I mean it's
God damn it, man. I just got done watching Guardians 3.
I know, right?
Why are you hitting me?
Yeah, I know, right? You're already in an emotional spot. I'm sorry. So let's talk happier things. The trophies. Mary Earps from England, she stopped the penalty and she ended up winning the Golden Glove as the tournament's best goalkeeper. She played outstanding, and Spain would have won 4-0 if it weren't for her. Like
for sure.
Yeah, she was playing, she was standing on her fucking head, like, to borrow a hockey term. She like it was amazing. She stopped that PK, and like she had some real fucking swagger on her too, tongue out, Michael Jordan style. Like I was hyped for it at 4 a.m. and I was like, but you know, trying quiet hype because I had live in an apartment with thin walls. So Bonmati from Spain, she ended up winning the golden ball as the best player of the tournament. Even if Spain lost that game, she was going to win that trophy because she was phenomenal all tournament. The next Women's World Cup is going to be played between June and July in 2027. The host tournament has not yet been confirmed, but we know that it will be one of the following regions. It'll either be Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands, or South Africa, or Brazil, or the United States and Mexico. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to another United States and Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, all of these places already have infrastructure in place. I think that's the key to it. If you were going to put it somewhere where they don't have the stadiums built already, that this decision would have needed to have been made like 2 years ago to get started. So all of these places already have the stadiums in place. They have hotels and roads built and everything. Brazil and South Africa recently hosted the men's tournaments. South Africa was 2010. I think Brazil was 2014.
Yeah, but South Africa is kind of to me, I think it's the story behind it's just it's no better than Abu Dhabi as far as like what they did to the country or to the resources of the area.
Yeah, I mean,
like a shithole.
Honestly, South Africa and Brazil, they both spent a lot of money that they didn't really have to build to upgrade and build the stadiums for the men's tournament, but the stuff is there now. So
that's fair. That's fair. Mean, and it's more recent than Belgium and Germany.
Yeah, but they have the the top flight soccer stadiums already in place in Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, because football is mad there. And obviously in the United States and Mexico, we have the football stadiums, American football, and hell, even like soccer stadiums as well. If they decide to host it in smaller venues, I don't know why they would do that.
I saw a crazy video the other day, and it was like about Germany and like their soccer clubs out there, and like pre-game tournament stuff that they would do. It was insane. Like this year was like a concert, but like years past, it was like Bundesliga, right? They would have like nights, like not 1 or 2, like 20 to 30 per club, and they would like choreograph some kind of fight with each other in the middle of the pitch. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. I was like, what is happening? Why do I have knights fighting in the middle of a soccer field right now?
Oh man. Okay, so they're gonna announce which who will be the host of the next tournament in May 2024.
I
So
wouldn't be
another
shocked if it's
chance
the
to.
United States because we're building the infrastructure now.
Well, we
And
already
it's
have it
fresh.
built, really.
Right. But Mexico's building some stuff too.
Yeah.
So like they're revamping stuff for the World Cup for the men. I wouldn't be shocked if it happens with the women's, only because it's like
Yeah,
it's fresh.
It'll be the very next year. I think it does make sense.
Yeah.
I think about in 1994 when USA hosted the men's tournament, and then 5 years later they put the women's tournament in all the same stadiums, and they sold those stadiums out too. So I think
Yep.
and now like the women's game is getting a lot more popular. I think like they'd be foolish to try to put it in smaller stadiums. I think you go with whatever stadiums you got planned for the men. I think you follow it up with the women, like obviously without the Canadian stadiums. I think you
I
follow
also
it right
think
up, man.
American sports, the amount of level that Americans do to hype up like their team, their sports franchises, I don't think it's on par with anything else in the world. Like there is players that will come from other kind of sports and they'll come to America to play sports. Or like Formula One, for instance, right? When we do Formula One in Texas, it is nothing on the level of what they do in other countries, in Europe or Saudi Arabia or any of those countries. Racers will come here and be like, the amount of fanfare and the amount of like promoting that they do in America,
Pageantry and all of that stuff. Yeah.
nothing compares. So I would imagine that like if you want to bring in money, America loves to toot its own fucking horn as hard as it can. Yeah. So I would imagine if you were to do it in America, the viewership and the money that would come with it would be tenfold.
Oh yeah.
Tenfold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it was overall it was an amazing tournament, and just like the only problem was the early nights because it was in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, that was tough.
So that was a little rough, but other than that, yeah, it was a very exciting tournament. A lot of really talented players got to showcase on the world stage. That's what it's for, right? And
for sure,
they did not disappoint. There was a lot of really excellent games, and I'm really excited for the next one.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah.
Well,
okay, so
bring us back across the pond over here and fly us to San Jose.
Yeah. So the Earthquakes are back in business after the League's Cup break. They get the win 1-0 over Vancouver Whitecaps. The Whitecaps basically outplayed the Earthquakes the entire match. The Quakes were able to score their one goal toward the end of the first half, and basically it was a counterattack. And they Abobasi crossed it over to Espinoza, and Espinoza went near post and put it in a couple minutes before halftime. So they were able to capitalize on their one chance, and they were able to pack it in and hold steady for the rest of the game. So they're currently 9 wins, 8 draws, 7 losses, which is 5th in the Western Conference. And the Whitecaps are currently in 8th place. So that's a team that was chasing you, and you were able to get a win in their stadium. So that is huge. Those are huge points that you put in the bank. Their next game is on Saturday, and they're at Sporting Kansas City. So got a little bit of a road trip, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how they react to a top Eastern club.
I'm assuming Cade Cowell is back with the Quakes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder though. As a forward, I know he obviously didn't score a goal, and I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch the Earthquakes game. But I wonder, being on a national level, how much more confidence Cade Cowell has. Like, is he more aggressive than he probably ever would have been just because he was with that?
We'll have to see going forward. I didn't get a chance to really watch the game. I only caught the highlights. So
yeah, I'll have to circle that down. I do want to watch some Earthquake highlights. My YouTube feed is going to be totally enjoyed by my fiance here as I fill it with a bunch of sports feeds again.
Yeah. Gotta overpower the Taylor Swift stuff, right?
No. Yeah, exactly. One way, somehow.
Right. So just one other soccer note. Christian Pulisic made his debut in Serie A. That's the Italian league.
Absolute strike.
Yeah, that was a fucking piss rocket that he unleashed, man.
Oh my gosh.
He scored in the debut. AC Milan gets the 2-0 victory over Bologna, and like I said, that shot, that could have ripped a hole in the net. Like that's how hard
dude.
he fucking struck it, man. It was incredible. That was great.
He was
Looking
outside the
forward to
box
the
too, hitting it too.
yeah.
That's the
Looking
amazing
forward
part.
to the hype, man.
Yeah,
The
for
Pulisic
sure.
hype is gonna be off the chain in 3 years when it's World Cup time, man.
Yeah, I think, and also too, knowing that we have, another striker to help him out. Oh my gosh, the hype is going to be unreal. All they got to do is just stay healthy for 3 years. That's all I need you to do.
Stay healthy and keep improving too. That's the other part.
Keep improving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This last World Cup was a nice showing. You get to the knockout rounds and you don't embarrass yourself in that game against the Dutch. But now it's time to start winning some knockout rounds as well going forward. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think Pulisic, man, would you keep him as a striker on this USA team, or would you
if
move
he
him
could
to
be
like
attacking
a
midfielder,
center?
Yeah, like an attacking midfielder. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, because I think that's what I think that would be ideal. Maybe.
I think so too. Instead of putting him as a left wing, as I've used him.
Yeah,
man, that's gonna be. I can't wait. 3 years is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of football to watch in between. Lots of footy to happen.
For sure.
Yeah. My dad actually literally just commented, I thought that the hype was pretty huge this time. Yeah. So, yeah, this is soccer hype train. We in the Bay Area, we have women's soccer coming next year as well. So I mean, the game is growing. Men and women, the game is growing, and there's just a lot of athleticism on display. In for both sports, the men and the women. So this is great. I'm really excited, man.
Pulisic, Balogun, Tyler Adams. I mean, and Rania. If Rania, oh my god, if we could get past this bullshit
with
our head coach
and his parents, God.
I mean, Dest is a top defender. Zimmerman's a top defender. Like, I can't wait. I just I can't wait.
We got to get and I mean these players, these American players. Like even though like 3 or 4 of them were on Leeds and Leeds got demoted, they ended up getting transferred back into like Premiership.
Yeah,
or
I think
they got sent to other like top flight leagues.
Yep. Adams went to Bournemouth, so he's back in
Bournemouth.
He's back in the Premier League. A lot of players. I mean, Pepe made his first appearance for PSV. He had a goal actually with PSV. Dest made his appearance. Matt Turner got his first one with Nottingham Forest.
Yep, and this is all Premiership level, so you're facing the best of the best at that point, and that's what I love to see. I love to see the Americans playing well in the top levels of football in Europe. So that's and that means nothing but great things going forward.
Yep, I agree.
I think about Clint Dempsey. Not really doing quite as well in Europe and then just coming home to Seattle and how that just kind of tanked us a bit, like
also I never realized that what's his name was with the Earthquakes and they won their championship with him.
Landon Donovan.
I knew my brain didn't click. Was the thing.
I'm a huge Quakes fan. I knew all about that. I was on board. And then when he went to Germany, and he couldn't quite make it work over there. He comes back.
That's what made me think about
LA.
it. Yep.
And when he come back to LA, I was like, but us, come back to us. Don't go to them. Go to us. And so I just remember that and being disappointed when that happened. But,
you saying him struggling in Europe, come back here, made me think exactly like Donovan. So
exactly. But now these guys, hopefully they stay up. They stay over there and they keep getting better and keep making noise. So
couple names I want to see just improve. I mean, I want to see all the names improve, but like specifically, I want to see Musa improve as our midfielder. I want to see Weah improve. Weah's fast as hell, but I need to see more like poise under pressure and more accuracy. And my dark horse, Jesus Ferreira. I want to see that boy step up. He won't make the starting roster as a forward, but he's a big body and a big.
That could be a hero substitution at the end.
Leave me that 6 man. That 6 man.
Yeah. To use NBA parlance.
For sure.
I think that's what we're, I think we're doing pretty good at is taking a sport like soccer and using things that we know from other sports that other people will find familiar to try to help them kind of get the similar idea, and we're here to learn. There's no stupid questions. If you have questions about any sport, please send them our way as well. We'd love to break it down for you. No stupid questions here. We just want to make sure that everybody has access to these sports. Some of these can get complicated. Some of them are a little bit easier, but we absolutely love talking sports and talking about them at any level, really.
And if you want to talk NBA contracts, I will do my absolute best. I can hang with most until my hands get a little loose on the bar to hang on. But
I do all right until my nose starts bleeding and my eyes roll in the back of my head when I talk contracts. But we can have some fun.
You want to talk about two ways or series players? We can talk about it. I'll entertain you for as long as I can.
Absolutely.
We do have one more news about the Pac-12. We got a little bit of time here, so just want to mention this here. Vince, you got a little quick note here for me.
Yeah. So it came out today that Stanford has informed the ACC that they'd be willing to join the ACC without any money guarantees.
That's means, so crazy to me. No media rights, nothing.
Yeah. They're just like, just let us in. We just want to keep playing against top level competition in all sports, and specifically football. And I just it feels gross.
It very much so does.
At this point, like if you give me the ACC, like as a Cal fan, if my choices are ACC or Mountain West, I think I'm choosing Mountain West, even though the money is shit. But like even trying to stay in the Pac-12 now, the money is going to be shit. So and if you're not going to be getting any guaranteed money from the ACC anyway, and all you're guaranteeing is your student athletes are traveling across the country to play any road game unless they're traveling across a bridge to play Stanford. Like, no, it's gross. I hate it. And just let the kids play local and let the games, like let parents be able to make it to some of these games, Well,
it also seems desperate because it's like the ACC has already had teams that voted against it, and they're like,
well, they didn't technically vote. They just told them they would vote no if the vote were held. So
I mean, granted, those teams are trying to get out too, though.
Yeah, that's the other part. It's a whole fucking sham, man. I'm so pissed off at college football. I was never really a huge college football fan anyway, and this just turned me off like completely. I really am done. Like I still cheer for Cal for things, but I mean, outside of that, I just don't care, and I'm not even really I don't see myself watching much college football anyway. I may watch even less. Like I may watch a combined one game over this entire season at this point.
I mean, it's so insane to me. Stanford goes, "Oh, I'll go play against Syracuse, Florida, Georgia Tech, UNC, Virginia." That is so far away. None of those teams want to go all the way across to California.
Yeah,
nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, it for football, it's one thing. We talked about the Chip Kelly point that he made. For football, it's one thing. They're playing one game. It's on a weekend. It's a far travel, but it's, like that's doable, But all these other sports, baseball, fucking water polo, like when gymnastics, you got it. Like it's enraging. I can't even spit it out. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm just so filled with rage over the greediness and the unmitigated disaster that this is for the Pac-12 and for college football in general. And nobody seems to give a shit, and it's disappointing. Nobody who's in charge seems to give a shit.
Okay, I'm going to just tinfoil again, all right?
All right.
Obviously, Stanford's football is pretty good. Decent.
They're up and down, but they do have a history of, some good stuff happening, yeah.
Do you think Stanford wants to be part of the ACC so they could play golf tournaments in like Georgia, where they have like the Masters, and then North Carolina,
I mean,
Boston?
I think what it really comes down to is they want football specifically, but all their sports in general to remain a power conference. That's what it really comes down to, I think. Stanford wants to stay in a power conference and keep getting those power conference money.
Makes sense.
If they're going to join, if Stanford's going to join a fucking East Coast like league, I think it should be the fucking Ivy League. If I'm being honest,
100%.
I think it makes much more sense because Stanford is like a really elite institution. If the Ivy League was looking to branch out and like grab like private schools, I mean, obviously it's too late for USC, but I think it would make sense for Stanford, where there's, you know, fucking heads of state are teaching classes, you know, like in their spare time. Fucking Condoleezza Rice was, you know, Secretary of State, and now she's doing, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is she's doing there, but she's teaching. And like it makes more sense for them to do Ivy League. I would think about other schools. I don't know.
Or they could join the
schools.
American Athletic. I mean, it's not as strong as a competition, but
well, that's the
travel.
point. Though. That's the point. They want the strong competition. They want the power school money, the power conference money. That's what it comes down to. That's what it boils down to. And even if they're saying they're willing to go without any guarantees, they're still going to be on ESPN in the ACC. They're still going to be, you know, like getting more people showing up to their games, and like on the road, like they'll be, you know, publicized. Publicity is, you know, free publicity. That's something you don't have to like it. And if you go in there and you beat fucking Virginia Tech or whatever, that's a, you know, that's a hell of a recruiting campaign. And you didn't have to, like, even if you don't get any money from ESPN, you're still getting money like on the back end. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Mountain West is probably makes the most sense, honestly. I mean, you get to play the Air Force, you get to play San Jose State,
San Diego State, yeah,
San Diego
Boise.
State. Yep.
Yeah,
it makes the most sense. UNLV.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Utah.
a lot of quality. There's a lot of quality schools in the Mountain West, and I mean, they're not necessarily power, but they're good. You know,
I mean, you get to play against Hawaii. If you're going to travel super far away, at least go to Hawaii.
Yeah. Why the fuck am I going to go to Blacksburg, Virginia, when I can go to fucking Hawaii for the same distance flight? You know, I mean, Jesus H fuck, man.
What sounds more fun, Boston College in December or Hawaii in December?
I'll tell you what, it sure as shit isn't the snowy place. I'll tell you that. God damn. Fly me to Honolulu right now, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. Crazy. I don't know what Stanford's thinking, so. Yeah. Well, anyways, that's all I've got for today's show. Vince, you got anything else for me today?
No, I'm all spent, man. My voice is already cracked.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you guys. If you're listening this far, we appreciate you guys listening. And as always, you are listening to the SVT podcast, even though it's VNT. Yeah, I got it right.
You got it right on the closeout this time.
Yeah, there you go. Subscribe to us on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm calling it that. I'm not calling the other thing. At SVT Sports Pod. Slide into our DMs. We would love to interact with all of you beautiful people. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Daniel, for showing up in the chat. And good night, guys.
Good night.